What's up, everyone? I thought I would do a hydromancy world prediction for 2019. Um, what you see here is a Chinese spouting bowl, and it's filled with water. It's kind of like a hand basin. So if you've seen my video on hydromancy, the Chinese spouting bowl, you'll be familiar um, with this hydromancy divination tool. Now, since this is a world prediction for 2019, I'll try to scry in the water. And I first became acquainted with hydromancy when I was a young child, around, I think I was 7, and we were at a lake, and it was called Milford Lake in Fort Riley, Kansas, or Junction City, Kansas. But I almost drowned there. So after almost drowning in the water, I was underwater for quite a while before the lifeguards came in and saved me. But after that, I've had a fascination with water and how it can give life and take life. So anytime I see water, I'm able to scry in it. And it has a lot to do with the result of that almost drowning as a child. It's like it almost took my soul away. So I'll go ahead and start the scrying for 2019 world predictions. What I'm saying is that America is going to go through, starting with North America. Canada is going to see a boom. Within their cannabis industry. It's going to be very lucrative. Countries in Europe and Asia will follow suit. America will still be torn for a couple of years. A lot of it has to do with the political tile. I'm predicting maybe in America, what's going to happen to America? Okay, we got, wait a second, the water's, there's gotta slow it down. What's gonna happen in America? America. America. Okay, it's coming through. America will see a boom in its cannabis industry in 2020, come on, I think. I believe it's 2021. But at this time in 2019, I wonder what happens to the House and the Senate. The House and the Senate will be not a vast blue wave, but it will be one that's very close. Red will be the minority in it, but blue will just barely cover the House and the Senate, so they'll just be a tad bit over. Nothing big. I wouldn't say it's the biggest blue wave, but it's a blue wave to some degree. This will cause trouble and a friction between the impeachment of Donald Trump. Russia will intervene. Once again, Putin will threaten the Democrats with war if they impeach Donald Trump. In Russia, Putin becomes the world superpower in the military. The world obeys Russia in 2019 for fear of being annihilated. China will be the leader in spreading developed world. It will build countries in South America, in Africa, in South America, in Asia, in the Indus area. China will create the new Silk Road. This will threaten to some degree America's standing for not using the humanitarian efforts that we could have done in the world with all our wealth. China has decided to take that and create developed nations in places like Africa, South America, and so on. America will be divided and scared, and we will understand that we have no option either to go to war with ourselves or to make peace, and to understand that our standing is no longer available in authority of the world. Europe. What will happen in Europe? Europe will be inundated with more Middle Eastern refugees, but there will be some problems that would be easily fixed if right-wing nationalism was not so adamant about forcing them out. Angela Merkel will have a difficult time, but she will make history as one of the most important people that have created world peace. She will be an example of what the world was supposed to be. She is the Queen of Europe. This will be her historical legacy. And she brings that Germany will no longer be seen as the right-wing Nazi concentration camp, but more importantly, it had changed its history as a model for the world. And Angela Merkel will set this example of peace throughout the world. And this will be her historical legacy. Although there will be problems that can be easily fixed because of the Middle East, the war in the Middle East will continue. Famines, more. There will not be a cure for AIDS or cancer in 2019. We will be on the precipice of nuclear annihilation if the United States does not resolve its problems diplomatically. But if a civil war breaks out, we will have to rebuild and understand that we are one nation. Although separate, we will be separated by sections of countries. We begin to understand this more clearly by the threat of Russia. Russia will try to dismantle us further after the elections. Now into South America, Venezuela is rebounding. It's rebounding its economy, it's stabilizing, but there's still problems, and a lot of problems. And from there is more migrant caravans coming into America. They keep inundating the south, west, and southern states to Texas, and I believe parts of Mississippi. And they work their way up into, but this, it's not gonna, it's hard to say with a migrant caravan because there's a lot of stopping them at the border. There's work on the wall. The military is watching the border heavily in 2019. The Democrats are trying to fight this and trying to bring it in, and this is the divergent topic from cannabis. Because states will start to legalize cannabis quickly. And as they bring in more migrants, the Democrats will start to try a new generation of Americans, U.S. Americans. They will be treated, many inhumanely, because they will be forced to work in low-paying and hard labor jobs conducive to slavery. Therefore, the division between if I were to tell you during the Civil War, when there was the two opposing parties, the first Civil War, there were waves of Irish immigrants coming into the United States that were fighting in the Civil War for the northern states of the Republicans. This will be the Democrats' artillery against the Republicans. They will utilize the Mexicans as their army in 2019. And further, if should war break out in the United States. Africa. Let's see what's in Africa. Africa. China develops Africa like no one else had ever thought it could ever be. China makes Africa into a developed country. As America slips towards more into third world in the future, but not in 2019, but towards the future, Africa becomes more of a leading continent of development, of agriculture, of resources, wealth. India, there will be developments, but the threat of nuclear war is still there with Pakistan. North Korea is being used as a tool by Russia. North Korea is a decoy for Russian aggression. More into North Korea. This is a good topic. Unification seems closer. It looks closer. It looks better. There are developments. Peace. More peace. More peace. Riots among the people, but peace. Peace. Everybody wants more now. More. Okay. Russia intervenes in North Korea, prevents is it going to prevent unification? Yep. Russia's going to prevent unification. Russia is a deciding factor and will threaten the United States with North Korean as the North Korean hotspot, nuclear hotspot towards the Americas. Canada will remain peaceful and will take a passive approach to the war. This will be a new Cold War that's forming. Because Russia is bent on having people... What? What is Russia gonna do? Russia's gonna teach in the future, beyond 2019, Russia's gonna teach the world about freedom. Something America always got wrong. Russia will pick off at that point where America left off. That you just can't go into a place like that, but they got bigger bombs and they will take over and show Americans what freedom is really about. What else do we have here? The Arctic is smaller. It's a race for Canada, Russia, who else? Greenland, yeah, and all the surrounding countries towards the north on the Arctic. It's a race for resources. Global warming is perpetuated. Each country wants more global warming. Global warming will be a... The world just wants global warming because we need the resources, and it's becoming more evident as these huge and territories. So this is a race between all these countries because they see the resources, they want territory. They know that it will make their country stronger and more dominant. The Arctic will see more starvation of animals, like the polar bear. Will there be any new advancements? Where are these advancements? Developments in technology will increase. The internet will become better as usual in 2019. But I still see America becoming inundated with more migrants. There's not going to be a stop. Mexico's going to get pissed. Everybody needs to know. It's a mess. It's going to be a mess. But you'll see Democrats leading these migrants into America. They'll be just ushering them in. But they might be used as pawns in a possible, like I said, civil war that will eventually happen at some point. Antarctica, I don't see too many developments other than fossils, anthropology. There's anthropological discoveries, humans, evolutionary stuff, more about learning about where we came from, who we are as humans. Asia, just China being greater, and sentiments in Australia. There's still mild racism in Australia, but it is what it is. as far as I can see, I've covered it all. So those are my 2019 world predictions, doing hydromancy, for 2019. I don't know if it seems weird, but this is an ancient technique, for doing divination, scrying, from China. So it might have seemed weird, but this is how you do hydromancy. You agitate the water. You don't let it sit and turn fetid and dirty. It's all about agitating the water and seeing what you see. So, but those are my predictions. I'm exhausted. I don't really recollect everything that I've said, but I hope you enjoyed it. If it seems unusual, then you need to do your history on Chinese spouting bowls, because this is the missing thing about how they were used to do fortune telling. So, thank you.